In a strange, twisted way, Trump supports immigration. I know it sounds strange that he supports it, but I'm going to explain something here. Recently, and I do mean about 3 hours ago for me recording this, Trump says that H-1B immigrants are necessary since there are not plenty of talented Americans. We have plenty of talented people here. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't have. You don't have certain talents, and you don't have to. People have to learn. Interesting. And people, his base, Kaguya's top girl, this person with the anime profile picture that always posts a bunch of pro-conservative MAGA stuff, is saying, "What? This is crazy." He's saying there's no talented Americans. And people, Savannah Hernandez, who is a very pro-Trump person, says Trump needs to get out of his bubble and back on the ground listening to the American people who elected him to work for us. His H-1B comment shows how out of touch with his base he has become. Disheartening. And I love this. I love this so much. As a bunch of Trump, you have to bring in talent. Well, we have plenty of talent in America. No, you don't. No, we don't have talented people here. Trump currently sitting at the lowest points because year is not even particularly close. It's a lot of stuff. Trump said America doesn't have talent. And people are going crazy about this statement saying that, wow, I can't believe Trump said this. This is really important. Trump is not for the people. I don't know why people are now just understanding that. I just don't get that. America First was never about America. It was obviously about ownership. Who gets to claim the land, the job, the dream? When Trump went on, I believe her name is Laura Ingraham? Laura Ingraham, sorry about that. Her show, he said H-1B visas were good. His base doesn't care about nuance or strategy. All they hear is betrayal. To them, America First means America only. That's it. That's it. Building a wall, both physical and ideological, keep anyone else from touching the sandbox they think they own, so when their chosen idol dares to say that foreign talent might be worth welcoming, they're going to melt down. Obviously, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to melt down because they don't get that. The myth they worship doesn't survive contact with reality. That's what's happening here. Trump is saying, America isn't as good as you guys think right now, but we can do it if we bring in people. Nope. Whoa, hold up a sec. You're sounding like Sleepy Joe. What are you doing? Because he's built a base of making enemies. And when they don't have enemies, they're going to turn on you. They're going to eat themselves. They want a country frozen in amber where made in America is stamped on everything. I don't want this made in China garbage. And the people making it all look exactly like them. I want these all to be made by Americans. What's an American? White guys, obviously. What are you talking about? But the world doesn't work that way. I don't think it ever really has. It doesn't. You can't have modern medicine, iPhones, AI, or your favorite conservative news app without the very immigrants they demonize. You can't do that. And you're going to realize that it's going to happen over and over again, especially with the flux of information coming in. It's the most poetic self-own imaginable. The entire digital ecosystem, their microphones, their servers, their everything was built by the foreigners. The chips you want so deeply to make certain specific things for computers, that's Taiwan. The metals are specifically in China and Taiwan, despite the fact they hate each other. And then they claim the foreigners are ruining America. Yeah, you can't hate every single foreigner. You can hate the bad ones that are ruining the country as you think they are, but your hate is directed towards every foreigner. And you don't care if it's bad ones or good ones or whatever it may be. You just hate foreigners because, and this is going to sound crazy, you're racist. That's what's happening. You're now realizing that your racism is preventing you from doing anything. And yet they're furious because Trump broke character. He told a small truth, even if it was by accident, that some immigrants are good for the country. That's just a fact. To his followers, that's treason. What? Immigrants good for the They don't want policy. They just want this weird purity. They want a leader who never admits that the world is complex, because it is. You can't have simple enemies all the time. You can't do that. They wanted a god, not a president. They wanted somebody that says, you'll never have to vote again, because people love simple answers. The minute he wavers, the minute he acknowledges nuance for a second, they're going to try to devour him like wolves. This is going to happen. This is what happens when you build a base on rage instead of principle. This is the logical conclusion to a cult of personality. You get a monster that eats its creator. Happens with every cult of personality. Charles Manson, any cult that I've witnessed, all of it, it's the same thing. You get a movement that can't survive contradiction. The America First crowd doesn't stand for jobs or safety or anything anymore. It stands for resentment. Every time their idol fails to feed that resentment, they turn on him. It's a self-feeding snake biting its own tail until there's nothing left but this venom and noise. They just chant, USA, 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 and they're wearing clothes that say, made in China. It's made in China. This is made in China. Scrolling on their phones. These phones, built by probably children, honestly. Immigrants. Who knows? Posting hate on platforms owned by global corporations. Run by an African man, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is from Africa. I don't know what to tell you. He is. That shocked me too. The hypocrisy is so loud. It's crazy. They hate the foreigners while living in a world powered by foreign innovation. Keep saying it's build the wall while paying for a world that can't function without bridges. That's how it works. I don't blame them entirely. I don't. I don't think I can blame people for their ideologies a lot of the time. I think they just find a person to hate or a thing to hate and do that. They were told a lie. That their suffering was caused by outsiders instead of billionaires who got their jobs and sold their own profits. And they're voting against their own interests all the time. They don't even know how to feel better about anything. But they're well off because they're relying on previous money from old generations, thinking that they're building a safer place for their kids, but they're not. They were told that nationalism was a cure for economic rot. That's not real. You can't do that. When really it was just a distraction from the looting at the top. So when Trump briefly breaks the spell and admits that foreign workers might be needed, they feel abandoned because they don't have an enemy. Because for once, he's not pointing the pitchfork in the direction they expect. And this anger that you feel, if you're a MAGA person watching this and you want to own a liberal, it's not patriotism. It's insecurity. The movement can't handle complexity because it requires empathy. You cannot chant America First and still make space for the idea that the world is interconnected. Their version, whatever version you have of America doesn't exist anymore. It's just nostalgia. That's it. And nostalgia is the easiest emotion to weaponize. That's why people buy remakes and re-releases all the time. That's why people get so excited when they get a glimmer of their childhood. Oh, they're bringing back the Cool Ranch Dorito Locos Taco. This is so nostalgic. They're bringing back the McRib. The McRib is back, guys. The McRib is back. So when they rage about Trump saying HB is good, whatever it may be, say it's good, they're not just angry at him. They're angry at the future. They're angry that the world moved on without asking them. That's what they try to conserve. They're conserving a past that doesn't exist anymore. They're angry at the same capitalism they worship. That's stupid. You know what's crazy? This capitalism relies on the very people that they're taught to hate. It's hubris, downfall, irony, very Greek how they played out. And that's why I say, do not engage. You're on the other side, wherever you may be. Don't waste your time to reason with these people who mistake empathy for weakness. The MAGA base doesn't debate. It deflects, it doesn't learn, it lashes out. Their ideology is built on constant emotional fuel, and if you engage, you're just refueling their tank. The only winning move is to walk away and let them cannibalize their own contradictions. This is what's going to happen. That's why I say let them do whatever they want to right now, because it's going to be great when they destroy themselves. Let them scream about betrayal while the world keeps spinning. Let them fight over who's true American enough while immigrants, minorities, and orderly people just keep living. Progress doesn't ask for permission, it just happens. Their rage isn't a movement. It's a tantrum stretched across years. And I've learned from dealing with children most of my life, no tantrum lasts forever. It can't. America First was never meant to include everyone. It was meant to include the people that look like them. That's it. And that's why it fails. Any ideology built on exclusion eventually collapses inward, much like a dying star. it eats its leaders, its believers, and finally is going to eat itself. So if Trump's base wants to implode because he dared to compliment skilled immigrants, let them. Let them learn what happens when your nationalism forgets humanity. Because what they call putting America first has always meant about putting race first. And anything that builds itself on hate, on fear, and on the myth of purity will eventually crumble under the weight of the truth. That America was never one race, one story, or one God's chosen people. I'm looking at you, Israel. It was always many. And I think that's what terrifies the most. It was always many people. Anyways, thank you guys for checking out my video. If you guys want to help with the nerve damage I have right now or helping my little brother or my mother, I have a GoFundMe. It's linked in the top comment. It would be great if you guys could help. If not, you don't have to. Just click off the video. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your nigga night, be my loyalties low. Happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. I love the ride when you